Hey everyone, welcome back to the Duck Under with Austin Pettigrew. I know it's been a while, but I'm back and I'm ready to shoot some more videos. Today's videos is going to be on my thoughts about the hiring of Scotti Sentes as the new head coach at Campbell. So if you don't know or if you've been under a rock today, Scotti Sentes is the new head coach at Campbell University for the wrestling program. And this all started because Coach Kerry Colat, who had been there for an extensive amount of time, took a job at Navy to be their new head coach, which, whenever you think about the move from from Campbell to Navy, you may think, well, that's not too bad. Well, if you kept up with wrestling the past few years, Campbell has risen in prominence. I'm not saying they're the best program out there, but I'm saying this, Coach Colat has most definitely made them better. Coach Colat was named the coach there in 2014, which I believe Scotti Sentes came there. And Scotti Sentes was under Coach Colat, I believe, since 2015, 2016-ish. But he got elevated to as associate head coach within the last year or so. And he was now the new head wrestling coach at Campbell. So why did Campbell do this? Why did they not go after a big fancy name? Names that had been floated around a bit had been Tony Ramos of North Carolina, who is Coleman Scott's associate head coach. And if you don't know who Tony Ramos is, he is a former Iowa wrestler, champion, all that stuff. And great man, great coach, great athlete. I believe he would have done a good job there. And I've also heard that Chris Pettleton was in the hunt for it. I don't know if Chris Pettleton would have got it. He's the associate head coach at Arizona State under Zeke Jones. And you think of other guys who are associate head coaches, such as Esposito of OSU, Mike Gray of Cornell, and Adam Hall of North Carolina State, who would have made fine head coaches. But the main reason I'm going to do this video today is because I'm going to give you the reasons why Campbell kept Scotti Sentes and elevated him to the head coach. Because that may sound like a weird name to be elevated to the head coach whenever you have these big shot associate head coaches who have been around for a while. Before I do that, I'm going to give you a little bit of background about Scotti Sentes. So Scotti Sentes, he wrestled in college for Central Michigan. And while he was there, he was a 4-time NCAA qualifier and a 2-time All-American. The highest placing he got was 4th at 133 his junior year in 2011. And he also placed 7th at 125 as a freshman in 2009. So he does have some wrestling pedigree to himself, wrestling at Central Michigan. And I believe he wrestled there 2009, 10, 11. I think he either redshirted or was injured 2012 season, and he wrestled his senior year in 2013. Well, after that, he went to Cal Poly to be the head assistant coach under Brendan Buckley. And if you've never heard of Cal Poly Wrestling before, they've had a few finalists before and a few All-Americans. One that I can think of off the top of my head is Boris Novokic, excuse my bad Russian, who placed second in 2011 right behind Kellen Russell of Michigan. So that's just one that comes to the top of my head. But he was Brendan Buckley's assistant head coach, and I believe starting in 2013, 2014-ish. So he would eventually go to Campbell, where he would be elevated to Coach Colat's associate head coach, and now he's the head coach at Campbell. So on to why did they keep Scotti Sentes and elevate him? Well, here's a few things. One, it had been heard around that Colat was taking his whole coaching staff to Navy with him. So that worried the school. They're like, oh crap, we're going to lose everyone. We're going to lose all our coaches. We're going to have to start completely brand new. This program may go down. Oh crap, we don't want to do that. We want to keep our program where it's at. We're in a good groove right now. So they saw Scotti Sentes like, we got to keep him. So they elevated him the head coach. And that kept him, obviously. I mean, shoot, from being an associate coach to being a head coach, that would keep someone, I would assume. I mean, So that's one reason. Number two is they may be trying to keep other coaches that were under Colat and be like, hey, Colat may be gone, and I know the Navy has strict rules, so maybe you may want to stay here under Scotti Sentes, who you've worked with before. I mean, that could be another reason, that's saying, hey, we know Coach Colat's a great coach. We know he's going to do an amazing job at Navy, but I mean, Scotty's here. You worked with Scotti. You know what he's about and all that. Another reason is whenever you look at the recruits in the roster. Whenever you look at Campbell's roster, you may not recognize most of these names, but they did have a few prominent wrestlers this year who were doing good. Noah Gonzer at 133. He was having a great season to what he had in the past. You also have Mink at 125, who was on the cusp of possibly being an All-American if NCAA's hadn't gotten canceled. You look at Josh Heil, who had made the world pretty much his domain at 145 for a few weeks. And I mean, if you know Josh Heil, he's the younger brother of Dean Heil, who was the champion at OSU. So that's another reason. They have good guys on their roster that they want to keep, and they also want to keep their recruits too. I mean, that's just part of the biz. Sometimes the recruits go with the coach. A good example is whenever Seth Gross left South Dakota State University when Bono took the job at Wisconsin. And I mean, he wanted to go be with his coach, and that's what it was this year. Gross wrestled for Wisconsin under Bono. So, I mean, that's another reason, And they're looking to keep guys, they're looking to keep Mike Evans. They're looking to keep other associate head coaches. And from what it says right now, Mike Evans is Scotti Sentes' head assistant coach. So they want to be able to keep their recruits, because normally if the head coach leaves, the recruits go with them because I don't want to wrestle for this guy because he's not the coach who recruited me. So they're like, maybe I'll go with my coach who recruited me. Which in Navy, I don't know how that would work, in all honesty. I'm not the expert when it comes to that stuff, but hiring Sentes was a safe option for them, though, because the recruits may be like, well, Colat was the head coach, but Coach Sentes was also there, so maybe I'll stay. They want to keep the wrestlers they have on the roster and the recruits that they have recruited, so that's pretty much the thing when it comes to that. And, if you look at it, too, they want to keep the culture Coach Colat established there. I mean, if you don't know anything about Campbell Wrestling, it was in the dumpster fire. It really was. It was one of the lower wrestling programs before Coach Colat got there. And under him, they went from a dumpster fire to, according to Intermat Wrestling, to being number 12 in the nation. You understand how fantastic that is? I mean, that's crazy. Going from absolutely nothing to being number 12. And that has to do with Coach Colat's hard work and dedication to the program. I mean, he was there since 2014. He was there for 6 years, roughly. And so they wanted to keep that culture that Coach Colat had established, and hoping Sentes can carry it on so they can continue building that program and making it great, even greater than what it was under Coach Colat. But, I mean, that's another reason why. If it was me, I would have probably gone after Tony Ramos, who's Coleman Scott's associate head coach at UNC. I think Ramos would have done an excellent job, but I understand their decision to keep Scotti Sentes and elevate him to the head coach, because it's that whole unknown factor. You never know what's going to happen if you hire out instead of looking inside. So that's what their decision was. I'm willing to bet. They hired Scotti Sentes and elevated him. And I believe Campbell's done an excellent job of supporting their wrestling program. It's one of those things. I'm happy for Coach Colat that he left and went to Navy. I mean, I'm sure he's going to do great things there. But Campbell was like, we need to do something. We need to make it fast, and we need to make sure we don't lose any recruits or any of our wrestlers over it. So that's probably why they went with Scotti Sentes. All right, guys, that's been my thoughts on Scotti Sentes being hired as the Campbell head wrestling coach. I promise I won't take a year off like I did last time. I got really busy, but I'll promise I'll roll out more videos. Again, this has been the Duck Under with Austin Pettigrew. And remember, duck and cover.